Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In the last episode, we were meeting the final few members of the Inquisition. We've spoken with Josephine. I believe the only people we have left to properly speak to are Leliana, Colin, and Cassandra. Now then, before we get on to that, we have more of the church to look into. We haven't explored everything completely. But hello? The Maker. Let me just start my timer before I forget. There we go. The Maker. There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silence. Then the voice of the Maker rang out, the first word. And his word became all that might be, dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it he made his firstborn. And he said to them, "In my image I forge you. To you I give dominion over all that exists. By your will may all things be done." Then, in the center of heaven, he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. The children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne and sang hymns of praise unending, but their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth the banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been I was doing so good as well. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing." And he knew he had wrought amiss. So the Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the Fade a measure of its living flesh, and placed it apart from the spirits, and spoke to it, saying, "Here I decree opposition in all things. For earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. And no longer was it formless, ever-changing, but held fast, immutable, with words for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker from the living world make men, immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. Then the Maker said, "To you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the Fade I crafted you, and to the Fade you shall return each night in dreams, that you may always remember me." And then the Maker sealed the gates of the Golden City, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Canticle of Threnodies 5:1-8. I love the codex entries that are parts of the Chant of Light. Like, they did a cracking job writing the canticles in this game. I think they're so... Oh. Madam.
Heaven has been
Are you okay? Because I heard you speaking.
I knew then, and crossed my heart.
I no longer talk to dragons.
Okay, madam. Okay, that's a little weird. In case you can't tell. Oh, no, that wasn't what I meant to do. I meant press control. So this lady is tranquil. You know what? I'll go into this lady right now. This is a reference to the Dragon Age film. Cassandra Pendergast, she was originally not teased. That's not the word. introduced. She wasn't introduced in Dragon Age 2. She was introduced in the film. There is an animated film of Dragon Age. It exists. It's not... One, it's not a particularly good film. Two, it's not a particularly good example of Dragon Age. And I don't know what... I look at Cassandra and I'm like, no, this ain't right. This ain't right. Like, her face is correct. She's missing the scar because she's a lot younger. However, they put her in, like, this dress. Like, she's got a battle skirt. And I'm like, no, Cassandra would never wear that. Never in a million years would she wear that. And her personality is a bit different, and it's just not quite right. But basically, it goes into the story of how Cassandra became the right hand of the divine, and in that is a young elven girl who can speak to dragons. She's a mage. This cult has kidnapped her so that she can talk to a dragon, and the dragon will then assassinate the divine, because, you know, that's not overkill. We need to assassinate someone. How are we going to do it? With a big fuck off dragon. They'll never see it coming. It's just whatever. So that's the plan, and it's heavily implied this is the girl from the film. Afterwards, you know, her power, it was too strong. They couldn't have someone who could speak to dragons just dicking about Thedas, and so they've made her tranquil. Not particularly pleasant. So then you... Yes, give. A chant for the departed. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire and go towards light. I buggered that up a bit, didn't I? Let's reread it. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire and go towards light. The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her sword. Transfigurations 10:1, often sung by mourners as they light candles. I feel so proud that I didn't say bacon, because literally all I could think was, don't say bacon, don't say bacon. God damn, that lady in Denerim shall be her bacon and her shield. She shall know the peas of the Maker's benediction. Oh God, that woman always makes me so hungry. God, I could go for some food right now. It's been ages since I had my dinner. Okay, now then, you, yes. Hello? Founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Draken, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion, he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. In -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Draken knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor? To declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Orlessa of Mosima was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia in honour of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended, and the divine age began. From Ferelden folklore and history by Sister Patrine, Chantry scholar. So just for anyone who isn't, you know, super into the Dragon Age lore, maybe you're watching this blind, this is not the Justinia Cassandra and Leliana keep going on about. That would be Divine Justinia the 5th, I believe. This is, you know, Justinia the 1st. The Divine Age was 900 years ago. Justinia the First is long since dead. This is a different Justinia. Okay, just for anyone who's like, is that the lady who died recently? No, different lady. Same name, different lady. Yoink. Don't mind if I do. Chantry hierarchy. The Divine is the titular head of the Chantry. Although since the schism split the Imperial Chantry into its own faction, there are now in fact 2 Divines at any one time. One Divine, informally called the White Divine, is a woman housed in the Grand Cathedral in Val Royeaux. The other, known as the Black Divine, is a man housed in the Argent Spire in Minrathous. Neither Divine recognises the existence of the other, and the informal names are considered sacrilegious. No matter the gender, a Divine is addressed as Most Holy or Your Perfection. Beneath the rank of Divine is the Grand Cleric. Each Grand Cleric presides over numerous chantries and represents the highest religious authority for their region. They travel to Val Royeaux when the College of Clerics convenes, but otherwise remain where they are assigned. All Grand Clerics are addressed as Your Grace. Beneath the Grand Cleric is the Mother, or, in the Imperial Chantry, the Father. If a mother is in charge of a particular chantry, Revered is appended to her title. These are the priests responsible for administering to the spiritual well-being of their flock. A mother or revered mother is addressed as Your Reverence. Brothers and sisters form the rank and file of the chantry and consist of 3 main groups: affirmed, initiates, and clerics. Affirmed are the lay brethren of the chantry, those regular folk who have turned to the chantry for succour. Often they are people who have led a difficult or irreligious life and have chosen to go into seclusion, or even orphans and similar unfortunates who were raised into chantry life. The affirmed take care of the chantry and I don't know why I've had so many tongue fumbles with this one codex entry. What is going on here? Let's try that again. The affirmed take care of the chantry and are, in turn, afforded a life of quiet contemplation, no questions asked. Only those folk who take vows become initiates. These are men and women in training, whether in academic knowledge or the martial skills of a warrior. All initiates receive an academic education, although only those who seek to become Templars learn how to fight in addition. Clerics are the true academics of the chantry, those men and women who have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge. They are often found in chantry archives, sages presiding over libraries of books and arcane knowledge. The most senior of these clerics, placed in charge of such archives, are given the title Elder, although such a rank is still beneath that of Mother. All other brothers and sisters are addressed simply by noting their title before their name, such as Brother Genitivi. From A Guide for Ambassadors from Ravane. I like the little detail at the end there, because if you recall, the Chant of Light never really found purchase in Ravane. I mean, Ravane has a circle, it's got, chantry buildings. However, the Ravani people, they never really believed all that gubbins. And as such, they would be the group of people who would be like, I have no idea how to address these people. Yes, unfortunately, we can't unlock anything because we're not a rogue. Sad times. Yeah, at some point, I'm gonna have to ask a rogue to unlock these doors. And we'll come back then. Now then, that is the chantry fully explored. My God, it does feel a bit weird to be back in Haven. Weird in a good way, though. Because, the last time we were here was, in Origins, with Brother Genitivi and all of that. The Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as...
There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky.
Madam, how dare you interrupt me? The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths. sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavour. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-changing realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloguing a few hundred types of spirits, before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by First Enchanter Josephus. Very interesting.
The Maker has
Again,
revealed
pardon me. How dare you block me? Rudeness. Rudeness in the Chantry. Now then, yes, that is everything. And I do believe, yeah, there she is. There's our girl.
See good Templars and evil mages in that circle, sister. I saw prisoners and jailers. The prisoners learned fear, and the jailers cruelty.
But the Templars serve the Chantry.
Until we asked them to be less harsh in their treatment of the mages, at which point they rebelled. I am not certain the Chantry should ever have been backed by blades.
Now that is something Aenor can get behind very wholeheartedly. It...
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. Blessed are the righteous, the lights in the shadow. In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? Blood? To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing? You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
Pardon?
How is this a game? Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
I can't speak for Andraste. I'm as confused as you. Bad things happen. No. One, this is just a dickhead thing to say. No, I can't speak for Andraste. I'm not the herald of Andraste. Please stop attaching me to your holy figure. This makes me very uncomfortable.
I speak for no one but myself, and I have no answers for you. You probably don't even worship the Maker. Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
My sympathies, you could blame her killers, people die. Again, why would we be an arsehole? Like, this lady is clearly grieving. She is... Like, this has clearly affected her very hard. Aenor has no idea what Leliana's connection was to Justinia, but, like, she's clearly taking it very hard. Like, my sympathies, girl.
I'm sorry. Her death has clearly hit you hard. Not just me. All of us. She was the Divine. She led the faithful. She was their heart. If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Let me help you. Why are you telling me this? These are your problems. These just seem like dickhead things to say. I'm not entirely comfortable with this because I read that as like a, let me help you. Join the cult of the Herald of Andraste. I will give you purpose. And I'm like, I don't think Aenor's about that life, but compared to these two, like, Aenor, she feels a great deal of compassion for this lady. She feels very badly for her. Maybe this is less like, let me give you purpose in the Herald of Andraste. And maybe this is more like, let me help you through this tough time. I'm gonna hope that's what this is.
Maybe you have another purpose. I could help you find it. No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come. To work, then. We will speak later.
I find that acceptable. Now then, I believe... Yeah, here he comes. Aight.
So it's true. Butler has stand on us. I hope my hunch was wrong.
You knew him well?
Not as well as I thought. Show me the reports.
Now, I will get to this now before I forget. On a personal level, I feel so badly seeing Leliana like this. I adored Leliana in Origins. I adored the bright, hopeful young woman who loved to tell stories and she just wanted to help people. And I hate seeing what Justinia did to her. I absolutely despise Justinia for what she has done to Leliana. I'm going to be honest, I think Justinia is way worse than Marjolaine ever was. Because here's the thing, Marjolaine was a bad person. Let's be honest, Marjolaine was selfish, self-centered, narcissistic. She really didn't give a shit about Leliana. She didn't see that she was doing anything wrong. And in a way, I'm kind of like, Marjolaine never asked for forgiveness. Why would she? She was like, I'm well within my rights. If this bitch is going to be stupid enough to think I'm in love with her, then yeah, I'm going to use her. And that isn't right. I'm not saying that that's right, but Marjolaine never thought she was doing anything wrong. She didn't know any better. Justinia did. And Justinia felt guilty. We know she felt guilty about all of the shit she had Leliana do. And it's the reason why I think Justinia is worse. It's because she felt guilty. She felt bad. She was like, oh shit, I'm using this girl and destroying her innocence, her hope. I guess I should just keep on doing that. Like, it's the fact that she continued. She felt guilty and she didn't stop herself. That's where I'm like, and yes, you could, it was for the greater good. That doesn't mean it was right. That doesn't mean what happened to Leliana was right or that Justinia was justified. I loved her so much.
There were so many questions surrounding Faria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Faria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
Do you have to kill him? Traitors deserve to die and remain silent. So, stop Leliana from killing the traitor agent. Encourage Leliana to kill the traitor agent. Do not interfere at all. So, under normal circumstances, if Aenor was just a regular member of the Inquisition, like she was at the Conclave, she saw the explosion, but like she wasn't caught up in it, she didn't have the magical doodad on her hand. If she was just a regular member of the Inquisition, and she overheard this conversation, she'd remain silent. Because this isn't any of her business. She's not the spymaster. She'd be like, oh shit, that's a bit bad that she's jumping straight to murder, but like, it's not my place to say. However, here's the thing. Leliana especially is very keen to profit off this Herald of Andraste story. They are effectively using Aenor as a figurehead. And if you are using me as a figurehead, what you are not about to do is do a murder and then slap my face on it. No, if you want me to represent you, then I'm not gonna have you killing people that will ultimately be viewed as, like, my fault. No, I'm, like, but for that reason, she wouldn't step in, but, you know.
Wait, what are you doing? He betrayed us. He murdered my agent. And you'd kill him, just like that. You find fault with my decision?
Killing isn't the answer, just that one, killing him is a waste. Killing him isn't the answer. We don't just jump to murder. Like, here's the thing. Aenor isn't above getting her hands dirty. However, if you have a problem, you don't just kill it. There are other courses available to you. In Aenor's mind, because she's not above oh, I never want to do anything remotely shady. Like, I will only make good choices. Like sometimes you have to make difficult decisions. Sometimes you have to do a bad thing. Sometimes you have to kill someone. However, it should be a case of, like, they won't back down. We have tried every other option, and all we have left is killing this person. Or if it's a case of this person could do so much damage that killing them is a necessity. Like, unless it's something like that, try something else first. Jumping into killing, it's not the answer. It should be a last resort.
We can't solve our problems with murder. And what would you suggest? Leave him be. Butler's betrayal put our agents in danger. I condemned one man to save dozens. I may not like what I do, but it must be done. I cannot afford the luxury of ideals at a time like this.
Ideals are crucial. You should like what you do. Find a better way. No. Ideals are crucial at a time like this. If we are trying to restore order, we cannot lose everything that makes us to do it. You know, like, what does it benefit a man if he gains the world but sells his soul to get it? Like, no, ideals are crucial at a time like this.
Now is precisely the time for ideals. You feel very strongly about this. Very well. I will think of another way to deal with this man. Apprehend Butler, but see that he lives. Now, if you're happy, I have more work to do.
I love how disgusted she looks, just like, I hate that you make me do these things. Oh, I'm sorry, Leliana, but we can't be murder hobos. We just can't. It's not right. It's fun, but it's not right.
Got the door again, Flisser. Don't know how it keeps breaking.
Oh, you know how clumsy soldiers can be. Are you sure you won't stay for a drink?
Well, maybe just for a bit.
He has... They both have a crush on each other, but, oh, I love this one! I love so many of these songs. Yeah, I just want to check... Flisser, now do you have stuff to say?
Oh, Maker, you're here. You're the Herald of Andraste. And you were sent to shame us for mistreating the elves. I pay my elves good and proper, you should know. Friend of the evening, they do all, and... I mean, I'm Flisser. Can I get you a drink?
I do love that line. You were sent to shame us! I'm like, it's beautiful. I'm actually Dalish. Relax, Flisser. I'm not the Herald. Here's the thing. Aenor is Dalish, but her mother was a city elf. And, you know, for most of her life, her clan have kind of viewed her as like a bit of a half-breed, as it were. So I don't think Aenor feels the need to be like, oh, I'm actually Dalish, respect my culture, please. I have in my head I think this is pretty funny. If it goes out how I remember it, it's kind of like in Life of Brian, where everyone's like, you're the Messiah, you're the Messiah. I'm not the Messiah. That's exactly what the Messiah would say. And they're just like all over him. I think that's what happens with this. You basically say, I'm not the Herald. Is this a test? Oh, you are the Herald, yeah. And you're just stood there like, what is this? What is life? Aenor has been saying she's not the Herald. She has been, and she wholeheartedly believes that she is not chosen. She is not the Herald of Andraste. She's just like, it was a fluke. It was a fluke. I'm not blessed in any way. However, something Leliana said is kind of making Aenor pause. She said that people were desperate for a sign of hope. And for many, she was that sign. And as uncomfortable as Aenor is with people calling her the Herald of Andraste, she doesn't want to make people feel hopeless. If that makes sense. With her inner party, with the people that she's sort of interacting with regularly, absolutely, I'm not the Herald, please stop calling me that it's not true, blah blah blah. But with random people who are suffering and are just kind of like, we want something to believe in, I think Aenor's like, you know what, I'll take on that. I will take on the uncomfortability that I feel if it makes you feel more comfortable. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. Oh, which one's this? What is this one? Okay, yeah, this one's pretty good too. Yeah, I guess just telling her to relax. I'm not the boogeyman. I'm not scary. I am your friendly neighborhood Dalish.
It's all right, Flissa. I won't do anything frightening.
If you wanted to close the breach, I wouldn't mind. As I said, I'm Flissa. The Inquisition soldiers needed a place to unwind, so Leliana brought me in to set up a tavern. Nothing fancy, but it's safer for the soldiers than looking for trouble in some village.
So how do you know Leliana?
You said Leliana asked you to run an Inquisition tavern. How did you meet?
Dumb luck, mainly. I managed an inn back in Denner. When I heard interesting gossip, I passed word to Leliana. Sometimes it was helpful. She asked if I wanted to own my own tavern, and I said yes. I didn't realise she meant this.
And we've already asked her what we can find in Haven.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Rightio. Yes, as we listen to the Bard's song, I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next one, again, more talking with Cullen and Cassandra, I believe. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much Oh my god, I love this one! Listen! This played over the credits of Dragon Age Origins. It's such a nostalgia trip. Not with the lyrics, but the melody. Oh my god, this is one of my favorites. I'm sorry. I just freaked out for a minute. I apologize. Where was I? Yes, signing off. So, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.